This is the Zpacks single person tent, the Solplex. I carried it on the Pacific Crest Trail, half the Appalachian Trail, a 1,300-mile bike tour,
The sun just came up.
and some other stuff in between. After using it as my only shelter for a year and a half, I've gotten to know its advantages and limitations really well, like how it can't stand up to a windstorm.
I knocked over my tent twice when I got out to fix it and accidentally bent one of my tent stakes.
How it keeps the bugs and rain out really well, and how it also holds the smell of sweat like a charm.
What is that smell?
It only weighs 15.5 ounces if you don't include your trekking poles, but with poles and stakes you're looking at like 1.5 pounds. So if you compare that with a Big Agnes or an REI brand tent, it's quite a bit of weight savings. After a dozen pitches, I could easily set it up in under 2 minutes. There were a few things about it that kind of suck, like the condensation. Maybe I'm just not good at finding dry places to sleep, but even when I left both doors open, I usually woke up with a wet foot box, which brings me to my next point. If you use a Neo Air sleeping pad and are taller than 5 foot 5 inches, then expect your feet to touch the bottom of the tent, especially if it's windy. I'm like 5'6" or something like that, and the only way I was able to gain more room was by switching to an 1/8" foam mat. I'm also not a huge fan of the design. It's pretty good, but it needs 2 poles, which is fine if you hike and use trekking poles, but it's actually really annoying if you don't, or if you're on something else like a bike tour.
There's my bike. And there's the highway over there.
I went ahead and bought their carbon fiber tent poles because I usually don't hike with trekking poles. The durability has really surprised me. I always carry it loose in my pack, and I haven't had any punctures in the fabric, although the seal above the door started to leak. The ground sheet part of the tent is still waterproof, even though there's a lot of times when I pitch it on rocks or sticks. So who's this tent for? Well, it's a great shelter for anyone who plans on through hiking or spends a lot of time outdoors and wants lightweight shelters. There's definitely lighter, cheaper options, but I've enjoyed owning this tent.